Okay.
Hello. Well, I'm here now with Edward T. Riker, who is, infamous for his Choose Cthulhu game books. And if you can see where he is at the moment, you can see that he is kind of a gaming fan. I'm guessing I haven't seen that many miniatures since I think I interviewed Joe Deaver a few years ago, and it had a very similar background here. So, hello, Edward. How are you?
Hello, Oli. I'm really, really happy to be here with you.
Can you tell me what is behind you? Where are you at the moment?
This is my house. My house is like a toy museum. I really, really love Star Wars. I've been collecting toys for many years. I think you can see at my back my Stormtrooper zombie from Death Troopers novel. There you can see some toys. Are my loose one, but all my house is like that. This is my dining room.
Fantastic. Well, I tend to start these interviews about talking how people got into gaming, how they got into sort of fantasy, role playing, all those kind of. So, how old were you when you first started sort of getting into fantasy? What grabbed your imagination at first?
I think I started like many people, but maybe Montgomery and Edward Packard, because I was very young when I first discovered my first Choose Your Own Adventure book. There was not role games yet, not role play games. And Choose Your Own Adventure was my first interaction with interactive narrative. I have here my first Choose Your Own Adventure book was Space Beyond. Was amazing for me. I was very young. I think I was less than 10 years old when I have this book. Was a game changing, totally game changing for me. Reading was cool. I love to read at the school, but be the main character of the book was totally different. We started me, my friends started to write our own choose or your own adventure books and read our own adventures in the school playground. Was the first step. Then maybe 2-3 years later, I discovered fighting fantasy. Oh my God, fighting fantasy. You can not only be the hero, you can fight the monsters. Was much better than the the computer games that we have in that time, Spectrum, MSX. Reading fighting fantasy was for me, a moment of change. I have here my Death Trap Dungeon. This book is totally destroyed for the use, and I have it signed by Mr. Ian Livingstone. He signed me this book at 2013, I think, in a conference he did in Canary Islands. That from there, that was a coil of fantasy. I started to play role. I discovered the Call of Cthulhu game books.
Yes.
Sorry. I'm mixing things.
No, it's okay. So you because you're from the Canary, is it the Canary Islands?
Canary Island, yes.
So were there many other people sort of role playing? What was this something that spread throughout your school? Dungeons and Dragons and Call of Cthulhu. Were there
here at Spain, things arrive a little slower than other countries. I started to play role play games during the 80s, but late 80s. I started with Star Wars, not with D&D, with Star Wars. Then the Call of Cthulhu. I think when we discovered the Call of Cthulhu roleplay game from Sandy Peterson, we stopped to play any other game. and was like an obsession for us, for our group.
I think that the interesting thing I read about your biography was you were very interested by movies and had kind of a visual imagination. I think something like Call of Cthulhu is so mentally stimulating because it is all about the mind and about your senses and about the unknown. And I think that for young people, we're always looking for answers and questions and whatever might be out there in the darkness.
Yes.
So, were there any sort of the movies an inspiration to you? Were there kind of film noir and things like that?
Well, I would like to tell you something. I really love old horror movies. I love Kaiju. I love Star Wars. All the things that you see, that you read when you are young, it's what makes you the adult you are in the future. No, I remember when I was very young to watch at the movies a black and white movie from Godzilla. Was the second movie. Return of Godzilla or something like that was called in Spanish. I was very young. I was in that cinema. I was alone because nobody liked that kind of movies, and was amazing. So for the future, for my literary career, from as writer, I think all those movies make me the man or the writer I am just now. Star Wars too, and comic books. I don't know if this is answer your question, but I really enjoy the all horror movies, the all kaiju monster movies.
Yeah. I think looking at some of your illustrations and the books, and also the new illustrations for your Choose Cthulhu books, that they are looking incredibly epic as well. I do like the styling there, and I think I can see a little bit of the Star Wars influence there as well. These massive monsters and also the shadowing. So tell me a little bit about before we get to the writing process. All the illustrations, because I believe you have a fighting fantasy influence for the illustrations within your books.
Yes, I have a main illustrator. This is my friend. It's my right hand in Choose Cthulhu. It's Eliezer Mayor. We grow with the same things. We grow with Star Wars. We grow with horror movies. We grow with Games Workshop. You know, the Games Workshops, Warhammer. When we plan our new books, we sit together. I told him I want this kind of illustration. I want the fighting fantasy style, and I think he's doing a really good job with the books. We will love to have even more time to do more and more illustrations for our books. We are introducing around 11, 12 illustrations in the Choose Cthulhu regular games. For the advanced Choose Cthulhu that we will talk later, I hope, we are introducing around 20, maybe more illustrations, 30, yes, illustrations. We will like to have even more, because illustrations are a very important part of game books.
Absolutely, I agree massively. I think most of the audience will know when they pick up a fighting fantasy book or the Joe Diva ones, or the Fable Lands. You know, all these illustrations that kind of really totally bring the world to life. You know, it's Russ Nicholson is just a master at bringing those kind of details and not talking down to the reader. You know, those books that you picked up when you were 8 years old are just as appealing as they are now. You know, to an adult, they are gory, they are horrible, they are kind of horrific.
You know, I remember the Choose Your Own Adventure books They was very simple illustrations, but at the 80s, I don't know why, but we as kids we fill the gaps in the illustrations with our own imagination, and even those. I don't know if I can show you this uh, this these things like this monster that is
Oh,
a
fantastic.
tyrannosaur. It was amazing because the books we used to read was not so immersive. Um, this one is really cool. Wait, I will break my book.
Yeah, don't do that.
Are was not so great as Fighting Fantasy, of course, but was appealing to the kids. I think illustration is 50% of the interactive narrative experience.
Okay, now we're going to talk about your writing process. Adapting a Cthulhu story, H.P. Lovecraft story. Obviously, they're well loved and well known. What is your process? How much research do you do? How much do you put of yourself into it?
Well, we have a lot of luck about Choose Cthulhu because we have a basis that is Lovecraft work. He's a monster. He's master of horror. So what I used to do is to read the main story, search points in the book, in the story where the main character could do something or things could go in other way. I mark it. That will be the choices we will do. We will can take during the adventure. But also, I pick the main theme of the main theme of the story and create two alternative stories that can be used as other ways to do the things. For example, I will talk about The Color Out of Space. That is a book that we will publish with Chiskusulku 2 series. You are a water researcher, you know, you are looking for water reserves at the hills outside Providence. In this book, you can follow the main history and investigate the meteorite that falls in the Gardner house, or you can stay in the forest looking for water deposits and do nothing with the main story. Of course, it will be interconnected, and the corruption from space will affect you in some way or other. But I think that secondary story in the book is very important, and is something that people will enjoy in our books. Same for Charles Dexter Ward. You know, my writing process is easy with this, but for Advanced Cthulhu, that is a new game book we are preparing and we will launch with Cthulhu 2 series. It's like a fighting fantasy book.
Yeah.
It's totally different. It's all my story. It's all my creation. You are lost in relay when your plane crashes in the island and you need to search a way to escape. There are two ways to escape from the island alive. Some others to escape from the island, but in not a so good shape. Crazy or even something worse.
Sorry, Edward, do you set all your books in the sort of 1920s American time zone, or do you
For
adapt them?
now, for what we have written so far, yes. But for Advanced Cthulhu, we are already working in the next titles. For example, we have It Came From You God that will launch, I hope, in 22 next year. It will be set in the 50s. You know, as I told you, I was very influenced by movies. I love the 50 science fiction and horror movies. This book will be in the desert in the United States with the secret military base, the secret laboratory in middle of a lost village in Nevada. You know, that 50s movies about the G and insects and that kind of things. I think It Came From You God will be very, very cool.
That sounds fantastic. So how many books have you got out now? I keep seeing an ever-expanding list.
We have finished the second series of Choose Cthulhu. 7 books for the first series and 7 books for the second series that complete all the Cthulhu mythos cycle for good. We are done with that. We have Advanced Choose Cthulhu Escape from Relay. We are planning for future years something with the Oniric cycle or the Dreamlands from Lovecraft, and the new numbers for Advanced Choose Cthulhu. I told you about It Came From You God. I have in mind Fright Night at Ferency Castle that will be set in Transylvania, you know, with vampires and.
So that's not a Cthulhu one.
It's Cthulhu, but not from Cthulhu myth, but from horror from Lovecraft. You know the.
So are they, obviously you've got the Cthulhu thing that is going so well, but do you fancy sort of doing a fantasy one or something entirely different from horror?
Yes.
Or are you really enjoying this too much that you?
Well, I'm a writer from many years. Now we are centered in Choose Cthulhu, but I used to write steampunk and dieselpunk. And when these Choose Cthulhu series come to an end, I will like to retake my dieselpunk and steampunk writings. Maybe create a dieselpunk game book, you know, something in the First World War, but I don't know. I don't know.
What if someone offered you a Star Wars franchise? Could you choose your own Star Wars?
I have an excellent idea for Star Wars. I would love to write a game book, but you know the brand. I can't write without rights. I will love to write a book where you can play as a Jedi or as a Sith, but you know, you are Jedi in one direction of the book and you are Sith in the other direction of the book, and you will discover that you are your own enemy if you play as Jedi or you play as Sith, and you can stop yourself. And it's a really nice concept. I know how to do it, but you know, working it without rights, it's a risk. Also, I have in mind to create the Choose Conan, you know, like Choose Your Own Adventure books of Call of Cthulhu, but for Conan. I really want to do it, but I will not like to enter in conflict with Conan properties. So I know I could release it for Europe, but I don't know if I could have problems.
Well, you know, there's always IPs coming up, and there's always things that you could pitch other companies, I suppose. You know, I mean, Disney might be up for expanding into game books because they're very popular at the moment. You can always ask.
I will. This will be, I don't know how to say, but be part or create part of the Star Wars universe. For me, I don't know how to say. Well, you can see my house.
Yeah, exactly. It may happen. It might be a fulfillment that you're going to have. So that's cool. Obviously, you've got those projects on at the moment. Did I hear that you're being published by Steve Jackson Games in America as well? Is that?
Yes, that was so good. As you know, Cthulhu started as a crowdfunding during 2018. We break some Spanish records in crowdfunding. We earned some prizes as best crowdfunding for 2018 with Ulule, the platform we launched it. We call attention from some publishers. We did, I think, a good job bringing back the game books to Spain, because here the game books disappear during the late 80s and early 90s. It was very, very difficult to find a game book. We have very good writers in Spain that write their own books, but find, for example, Lone Wolf, or find fighting fantasy, sorcery, was impossible. We have only 17 books published about fighting fantasy, and the first 11 books of Lone Wolf, only that. So we play it with nostalgia, with the readers that read the books when was kids, and launched a very good campaign of Choose Cthulhu 1. We was asked by Raven Distribution in Italy, and then we talked with Manticore Everlag in Germany. They was very interested and published our books in Italy and Germany at first time. When we launched Choose Cthulhu's second series, was like crazy boom. We get a lot of bakers. We grow a lot, and books was a success in Italy. So when a Steve Jackson person writes me and tell me, I have this book in my desk, we want this for United States, I say that's impossible. It's Steve Jackson himself, the man of the Scorpion Swamp I read when I was a kid. No, it must be a joke or something, but was a Steve, and was so cool. We sold to Steve Jackson Games the rights for the full series, and for future books we publish with Advanced Cthulhu. But it's not just Steve Jackson, it's also France with Sakos, is such Republic with Mitago, or Poland. I am amazed with Poland, Black Monk Games. I hope I don't forget any other publisher, but you know, it's yes, of course, Russia. We are at Russia with Hobby World, because Steve Jackson recommend our books to his Russian distributor. Now we are in like I don't know how many countries in Russian Federation, and a lot of language is very, very good. Also, I think Steve Jackson will publish the books in every country with English language. So
congratulations, that's so fantastic. And
you know, I have skin when I
goosebumps.
talk about this. It's goosebumps. Yes, it's amazing.
Well, I'm so pleased for you. Now, if someone doesn't know where to get these books, where can they get them now? If they're anywhere in the world, where can they find them?
We have Choose Cthulhu in English at our bookstore and in our web page, choosecthulhu.com. Also, you can buy it at Amazon. Also, every company who is publishing our books have the books in their own languages, you know. But I think buy from us at choosecthulhu.com. It's cool, because we don't have shipping cost for full collections. If you buy Choose Cthulhu 1 or Choose Cthulhu 2 full series, you have free shipping every place in Europe and United Kingdom. Not for United States or South America, because it's very, very expensive shipping. But for Europe, we have that
So
offer.
it's better for them to go through Steve Jackson Games, perhaps, to get it.
Yes, that
In
will
America.
be that will be. I think they will start with publishing next year. Yeah, they have all the books ready. They are working, polishing it, to make it better looking for the American market. I don't know how to say that. They are very particular with some subjects, and Lovecraft, it's controversial, so they are reviewing the books, but our books are very, very wide, are not the offensive, we don't pick the racist things of Lovecraft. I think they are really happy with our work. We will see.
That's good. Now, if I'm brand new to your work, is there one that people maybe should start with to kind of have a good experience, just to kind of get an idea of how it goes?
Well, we thought Choose Cthulhu series for a fresh start for Spain, and that is what we do. What we did. Our books follow choose your own adventure mechanics. You don't have combats. You don't have roll dice, but you have puzzles. You have quests. You have corruption in some books. You have I don't know. Things to do. It's not just a novel with a page in different order. You have things to do. You have to think. Maybe the second book, At the Mountains of Madness, is the perfect example of this. The first one is more easy, is easiest, but the second is difficult. You need to investigate, discover who is missing in the lake campment, but are a fresh start. Also, if you are a Lovecraft fan, you will recognize his works there. You will recognize his form of writing. Are sought for mature, for adults, not for kids. But for some players, it are very easy. For some experienced fighting fantasy players or lone wolves. So that's why we launched Advanced Choose Cthulhu with the fighting fantasy style, with combats, with madness, with our own rules, like survivors, like rest in the campament. Will be very, very hard book, very, very hard. It's a big one. The first one, the Escape from Relay, it's more than 477 sections.
Yeah.
But I want to say our proofreaders say we keep the excellent narrative from the regular series. I hope it's true, but the people who read it enjoyed it, say it's very well written, and it's clever adventure, and very, very difficult.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I'm very pleased with it. Now, if people are wanting to follow you as the author, how can they do that? Are you on Facebook and Instagram? Which one do you respond best to?
Of course, I am at Instagram as Choose Cthulhu. I'm at Facebook with my author name. It's Riker. You can search for me. It's open. I accept everybody. I have open profile because I don't used to post too much, but I answer every question people make to me. Also, I have the Choose Cthulhu Facebook group. It's facebook.com choose.cthulhu. It's open too. We have a lot of people there, a lot of good followers. We used to date our Instagram many often. The only social media I don't used to follow is Twitter. We have one, but we only post there what we post in Instagram and Facebook. But if anyone want to follow me, I will be glad to have him or her. Also, I help people who is starting with the crowdfunding. Want to ask because I didn't tell you they have a lot of help. When I started, was totally new to crowdfunding, and I meet a French publisher that helped me a lot, Pierre Boronsky from Sans Detour Editions, that now it's closed, but was a very big publishing company. He helped me a lot, and I think I learned that if you help people, people will help you in the future. So
yes, I heartily agree. Absolutely. Well, Edward, thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate it, and great luck with the future. I think I can see you're going to be writing a lot more in the future. So, you know, do follow Edward. Do have a look at his website. It's a fantastic website, by the way. Go and have a look at that. And, you know, we'll look forward to your next productions.
Thanks a lot, Dolly. Thanks a lot for having me here. I'm really, really happy to be here. And sorry for my English. I hope everybody could understand me. I tried and did my best.
That was fantastic. Thank you again.